Hi, my name is Long Duan. I'm from eCyberForce. Today I'm going to show you how to configure the MacroProbe to perform the IT service analytic. So let's proceed by logging into the MacroProbe. First, you have to configure the policy management to tell the MacroProbe what service you want to run analytic on. So the first thing we need, so let's say the first service is DNS. We want to enable or disable running analytic on DNS service. So the analytic the DNS metric that we run analytic on is protocol errors, functional, and response time for performance and availability for our service. The same thing we can do with HTTP as well as SMTP, as well as IMAP 4 and POP3 for email, and FTP for file server, as well as for the TCP application, which are all the IANA well-known port on TCP. So we can run analytic on the application or the application server, as well as the custom TCP application, which we can add here. So that's for the configuring the policy management. Now we're gonna go and configure the alarm configuration for the end transition alarm. Now this right here is a little bit more complicated. So let's first look at DNS. DNS for functional error, which is all the protocol errors, which is like all the DNS server failure or server refuse or domain not found and all that. These errors right here are set in by the threshold. If exceed, it goes to a transition. If set to 3 bit, that means that the first bit is when the first threshold is triggered, and it continue on sustaining above the threshold until the second minute reach, and then it keep on sustaining above the threshold until the third bit or the third minute is reached. That's when it generates an alarm. The same thing for hourly error iteration alarm. This is generated on an hourly basis, while this was generated on a 5-minute basis. Each of these alarms are designed to filter out a lot of noises, as well as all the false positive and false negative, so that you end up with a very credible alarm with the confident probability certainty to work with in your IT daily operation. Now the response time, the same thing, metric, this is for performance. Same thing with threshold and the number of iteration, the number of transition that it goes through. Now for the 5-minute iteration, the maximum number of bits is 5, because there's only 5 samples in the 5-minute window. The hourly response time by practicality is 10 bits. Any more than that would be overkill, would bog down the system. And the availability for DNS is mostly looking at the server failure error that have too many transition error. the same thing for the HTTP, except that the protocol error are different. The protocol error here is 5xx and 4xx, and the availability is 5xx transition errors, too many 5xx transition error. For the SMTP, the protocol error is similar to HTTP, it's 4xx and 5xx, and the availability is also too many 5xx transition error. The IMAP 4, the protocol error is too many status no error, and the service availability is too many status no error in transition. The POP3 is the mostly on the availability is mostly on the too many permanent error, too many system permanent error. FTP control is the 5xx error, protocol error, and service availability is too many transition of 5xx error. And then we go down to the TCPApp and TCP server. These are the IANA known TCP ports, as well as custom TCP port that you add. So the protocol error here is the TCP transport, sync reset, and CWR errors. So that's for that in the configuration of the alarm and transition alarm configuration. So after that, you go into the dashboard to monitor at the high level on all your services. So let's say look at the TCP application service at the high level. So you can see that these are all the highlight of the alert superimposed of many alarms that's shown at the latest timestamp with the probability, certainty for functional, performance, and availability. So let's look at the detail of HTTP service. We got all the HTTP alarms that are detected on the interface 10.20.100.71. 87.5% certain that HTTP application has a high response time exceeding 2,000 milliseconds for at least 3 consecutive occurrences. So that's for that. That's an example of that. So we have also look at the dashboard for HTTP server. So we can see that so let's look at this HTTP server details or the alarm. Oh, we don't have the detail. Anyway, this right here is the certainty level is not necessarily the latest alarm, but it is the highest probability seen by an alarm in that window of time since this profile was established. If you delete it, the profile reestablishes itself and it resets to 0 again. So now we go see the DNS. We have DNS service dashboard, and we have the HTTP service dashboard, and we have the SMTP service dashboard. Let's look at this. Oh, because we do this for the last hour. IMAP 4, POP 3, and FTP data. So this is the dashboard that you look at the glance to drill down to the last hour when the most recent alarm happened for the details. But if you want more detail in a larger window or a more flexible window, you go to the alarm monitor. And let's say, for example, you want to see all the TCP monitor alarm for the last 24 hours. You can pick different time mode, but let's say for the last 24 hours. That's typical in monitoring. So you see all the alarm details for the last 24 hours. And HTTP for the last 24 hours. And DNS alarm for the last 24 hours. And FTP alarm detail for the last 24 hours. SMTP alarm detail for the last 24 hours. And IMAP 4 alarm detail for the last 24 hours. And POP 3 alarm for the last 24 hours. So that concludes the IT service analytic. Thank you.